Okay, so tonight we're going to go through a Plexus boot camp, and this is the boot camp that Laura Clow and Jennifer Pickett did down in the McKinney area. And Laura was kind enough to share with us her boot camp slideshow, so we're just going to go through that as a team so that we can learn together. So tonight, let's see, we've got the first thing that we're going to talk about is your goals. And it's important to have goals in your business, because without a goal, it's almost like you aren't really sure what you're aiming for. Some people, you know, they want to go all the way and they want to be a diamond, but if you don't start with small pieces, bit by bit, that you can chew off, it's almost overwhelming. So I know everybody's muted, so I'm not going to hear you, so it makes it a little challenging to have a conversation. But when I first started, my goals were to have 3 new preferred customers and 3 new teammates. And that was my first goal. And as soon as I was able to reach that, then I created another goal. So that should be everyone's first goal. If you haven't gotten to silver yet, work towards adding those first 3 teammates with you, while also adding 3 preferred customers, because they're going to bring in most of your paycheck from your commission in the first month or 2. So it's kind of like getting a paycheck while simultaneously building a team, because that team will eventually replace your commission income. So next, moving on to the next one. This is just a little company history here, and I'm going to, let's see if I can change that. No, we'll just leave it. All right, so Plexus started in 2005 as a breast health company, and in 2008, the 3 executives that currently run Plexus took over, and then they launched the Plexus Slim and the new business side in 2009 with the new comp plan. And that is really what turned Plexus around as far as putting us on the map and launching the business, because not only did they have the new Plexus Slim that everyone now knows and loves, the pink drink, but the comp plan radically changed the company. And if you haven't ever looked into Plexus's comp plan, just know that it is probably, without a doubt, the most fair and generous comp plan out there within all the network marketing companies. There's no gimmicks or games. There's no balancing legs or only getting paid on the smaller side, or if someone moves up faster than you do, they move up and leave your team. None of that stuff. It's very fair and pays very well to us. So if you have questions about that, let me know, because there's a really good video that explains that. So 2011, they introduced Accelerator that works along with the Plexus Slim. In 2012, the Fast Relief line was released. In 2013, X Factor, and the breast cream was changed to the body cream, so that it's still the same formula, but now people don't think it's just for the breast. It is actually a great cream for men and women and all things skin, not just the breast. And then 2014, Boost and Block and the X Factor family chewables were released. So that's just a basic overview. Let's see if we'll go through. Click my slide here. Okay, Plexus back. So the company is debt-free, which is an amazing feat. Most companies getting started have to borrow and then owe a lot of money. But the fact that we're completely debt-free means that there's no risk of the company going under. Not only that, but the company just broke ground on a brand new 75,000 square foot building to house the new headquarters, since the company's growing so fast. And despite that, the company is still debt-free. It just shows you how awesome our leadership team is, that they continue to not only run the company so well, but they still give 50% of all the profits back to the ambassadors. All right, so in 2013, Plexus had its first $2 million a day. And at the end of 2013, Plexus achieved over $160 million in sales. Inc. 500 just rated Plexus the number 8 fastest growing company in America. And we are projected to become a $1 billion company by the end of 2015, which is very exciting. If you look there at the comparison, it took Avon 86 years to achieve that, and Mary Kay 33 years. So for Plexus to be able to do that in its first 6 or 7 years is unheard of. It's just crazy fast. It's an amazing opportunity to be a part of. We are still ground floor in infancy stages, so you are getting in at the absolute perfect time because we've been around for more than 5 years. So there's that. We're past the point where you'd worry about the company flopping and closing its doors, but you're right at the cusp of this company really taking off and becoming a household name. So absolutely exciting time to be a part of the company. All right, so this just, again, reiterates what we talked about. The growth quadrupled in 2013, and over the past 3 years, 16,457% growth. That is just insane. All right, so why network marketing? People often ask, what is different about network marketing? Why go about it with a company like that? Why would Plexus choose to sell their products through network marketing rather than on the shelves at a pharmacy? And why should we get involved with a company that uses network marketing to reach others? Well, if you think about it, Plexus has the right products, and we're going to cover that in just a moment, but 80% of Americans have either diabetes, prediabetes, or obesity, and that doesn't even cover all of the other aspects of health that Plexus can help with. And it's the right time, like we just talked about. We are past the first 5 years, but we are taking off with a really exponentially fast growth right now. Great time to get involved, and the right place. It's just for me, I often say it's the right company too because of how well their comp plan is. But, and the other thing that I just mentioned as far as why did they use network marketing? Network marketing has been around for 100 years. It is not a new thing. There's a lot of misconceptions about what network marketing is, but when done right, it is an unbelievable way of reaching people because you're sharing what you love with your friends, and your friends trust you. They don't just walk in a store and pick up something they've never heard of. They're going to try things that their friends have used and had success with. So word of mouth is a great way to share something that works. And Plexus decided rather than spending millions of dollars in marketing, they would rather give the money back to the people who are using and loving the products. And that makes perfect sense to me. All right, so facts about network marketing just as a whole. Someone starts a home-based business every 10 seconds. And network marketing is a $167 billion industry. That's more than a lot of the Pro Football Association, all kinds of companies. You think that network marketing is just this minor little niche, but actually it's a huge industry. Over 74 million home-based businesses, and it's going to triple in the next decade. And if you look here, it also says the average work-from-home income is $59,000 per year, not too shabby there. And 20% of home-based entrepreneurs reported earning $100,000 to $500,000 in income. Not only that, but you've probably also heard that 80% of women who make over $100,000 actually earn their income through network marketing. So it is a huge opportunity to be a part of, to work from home, to not have to work at that 8 to 5 job and, sit in commuting traffic and only get 2 weeks of vacation a year. You can be your own boss. You can set your own hours. You can be home with your family. Vacation when you want a vacation. There's just so many reasons to love network marketing, but there are definitely obstacles to overcome because there's a lot of negative stereotyping that goes along with it, and we'll address some of that as we go through tonight. But here we go, down on the bottom right of this, you'll see it talks about the industries. Here, the NFL $9.5 billion industry. Music industry, 16.5, video gaming, 67, movie industry, 80 billion, organic products, 91, and then there you go, network marketing, 167 billion. So this is not just a minor industry that we're talking about here. Huge, huge industry. And again, it's been around for 100 years. All right. So why network marketing? We just talked a little bit about that, but there is unlimited income potential, especially with Plexus because of how generous and fair their compensation plan is. You've got the freedom to work anywhere from any place at any time. You could, with Plexus being an internet-based business, you could be on vacation and still working from your iPhone. It's a great way to help others. It's a great way to be your own boss. And it's very low risk. I mean, the fact that you can start your own company for $34.95, that's just unheard of. So those are some great reasons to get involved. And here's a great quote by Dave Ramsey on network marketing. When you're passionate and willing to do the work, it can be a great vehicle to help you become financially free. Okay, facts. Is Plexus just about weight loss? And the answer is obviously no. There are many facets of health that Plexus can help with. Blood sugar stabilization. We all know that the company was about breast health, and when they introduced Plexus Slim, that flagship product there was designed to help diabetics regulate their blood sugar because of the correlation between breast health concerns and diabetics. And while the formula has changed, the Plexus Slim still does help with that blood sugar stabilization. And as you know, blood sugar plays a huge role in many, many different areas of our health. When that's out of balance, it can affect many things like hormones and thyroid, vision, our just all kinds of areas of health there. So in addition to that, when you stabilize your blood sugar and get those cravings under control, you also see healthy weight loss. Our products also offer the pain relief. The Slim and Accelerator combo do a great job with pain relief. And also we have our fast relief pain line as well. Nerve health support, detoxification with our ProBio and our BioCleanse. They also are our GI health products there. We talked about breast health, and then wellness products, our X Factor multivitamin. Just so many different things that Plexus can help with. I'm sure you've seen the thousands of testimonials of people who've had their lives changed, and it is just an amazing company to be a part of, not only because people are seeing their health and their energy levels restored, feeling so much better in their life, but you know, getting off of medications, having their life back. And meanwhile, they're taking natural products. All of our products are GMO free and gluten free. Most of the products are also dairy free and soy free. So no artificial chemicals. I mean, really, it's just amazing that we can see these kinds of health testimonials and it be products that are completely safe and natural. All right, is Plexus needed? So, you know, most other network marketing companies that you get into, you've got a lot of handbags and nails and jewelry and makeup. And while those are great, these are products that even in a down economy, when people aren't wanting to spend a whole lot of money, people care about their health and their weight, and they're willing to spend the money to recover when they're feeling horrible. So let's look at how Plexus can help. High cholesterol. 17% of the population, that's 1 in every 6 adults, struggles with high cholesterol, and Slim has been shown to reduce cholesterol. Diabetes, 29.1 million, or 9.3% of the population, and that doesn't even count all of the people who are pre-diabetic. So that is a huge network of people who are looking for health improvement. And again, the Slim and the Block are amazing products that can help them naturally regulate those blood sugars. Pain, 100 million, 1 in every 10 adults lives in pain. And I'm sure that they would be willing to pay whatever it took to be able to get out of that pain. Neuropathies, 80 million cases of nerve damage. And did you know that the Plexus Nerve Health Support is the only product available that can help regenerate nerve growth factor? That is an unbelievable product that we have to help people with those. Cancer, 40% of men and women will be diagnosed. It's the second most common cause of death. And while Plexus, again, we're not claiming to treat or cure or prevent any disease, we have many individuals who have had cancer and gone through their treatments, and Plexus had given them the energy and improved their autoimmune system so that they were able to go through their chemo without having all of the sicknesses that you commonly get during chemo when it destroys your immune system. And autoimmune diseases, lupus, 1.5 million, fibromyalgia, 5 million adults. There are lots of testimonials of people who've had autoimmune challenges and seen great improvements in their health during the process, because again, Plexus is about overall health. And then arthritis, 52.5 million. That's 1 in every 5 adults. So as you can see, there is a huge market out there. People need to hear about Plexus and what if it could help them. This is one reason why working with Plexus is an amazing opportunity, because you can reach out to these people and what if it works for them? Believe me, when you hear someone that you've shared Plexus with just absolutely grateful to have their health restored, it will make your day. It will make it all worthwhile. Okay, so product recommendations. These are just some basic suggestions. Everybody's body is different. Again, the triplex, when in doubt, recommend triplex. But these are some that were put up here by Laura Clow and Jennifer Pickett, and I think that they are some great recommendations. All right, so autoimmune, I'm just going to go through these really quickly here, but autoimmune, Slim Probio 5 Fast Relief. Eczema and anything skin related, the Probio 5 and the body cream. So you're treating the inside and the outside there. The gut health, often anytime there's issues with gut health, it displays on the outside through our skin. And then the body cream helps with all things skin related. I know on these they're saying Probio 5 without the BioCleanse. I personally recommend Probio 5 to be taken with the BioCleanse. But again, I did not create this slide, so I'm just reading what's here. Okay, brain fog, cravings for carbs and sugar, wanting to improve gut health. 80% of your health stems from your gut because that's where your immune system lies. Probio 5, and again, I recommend Probio 5 and BioCleanse as a combo because they work so well together. If you aren't having bowel movement several times a day, BioCleanse. Now, some people think several times a day. Well, if you think about it, it's like, I love the analogy of the car wash. When you have 3 cars going into the car wash, you should have 3 cars coming out of the car wash. But at least once or twice a day, if you're not regular, you're going to back up into your system. You're going to be releasing more toxins into your body, and the body protects itself from those toxins by surrounding them in fat. So if you're wanting to be healthy, you got to keep your gut moving along. So recommend BioCleanse for that. And I can't tell you how many people, a lot of women don't want to admit that that's a problem, but it is a wonderful feeling when you get that under control. All right, issues with regular sugar levels, cholesterol, blood pressure, lipid levels, Plexus Slim. And I would add the block for sugar levels too, the new product. Lack of energy, Slim and X Factor. Joint or muscle pain, inflammation, Fast Relief capsules. Sore muscles and inflammation, the Fast Relief cream. And that stuff is amazing. I know there's several people on the team, they're not on the call and can't jump in and share how much they love it, but it works so much better than other products that they have tried, and they just absolutely love it. not only for sore muscles, but for headaches. Just an amazing product. Nerve issues, like I talked about with the nerve health support, there's tons of really amazing testimonials from those people who hadn't felt their toes in years and suddenly are waking up because they're feeling the sheet touch their toes. Weight loss. So again, with the weight loss, Slim, Probio 5, X Factor, and BioCleanse, that would be the triplex combo in the X Factor. That is what I personally take and have had great success with. You can take the booster accelerator, but those are not required. All right, and again, Plexus does not claim to cure any of the above conditions, but many people report that it helps relieve the symptoms of those issues. The 60-day money-back guarantee. So will it work for me? You don't know it until you try, and that's a great thing that we can recommend to our customers, our potentials, because most companies do not offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. If they walked into the Walmart or Target pharmacy and picked up some products to try and it didn't work, sorry, you're out that 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. With Plexus, all the products are 60-day money-back guarantee covered. So they can try the products for 2 full months, use up all of their products in their bags and bottles, and still the company will honor the money-back guarantee. Ambassadors get a 5-day money-back guarantee on unopened products. So we want to make sure that when people jump on board that they are already loving the products or completely buy into the company and are gung-ho to get started. It is an awesome opportunity. But we want to make sure that people understand that that 60-day money-back guarantee only covers customers. If we are ambassadors, we represent the company, and we should already love it. All right, so here's just some example of how Plexus works, and you might recognize some of those faces on there. Celeste, our upline, is there in the middle. And she lost 35 pounds on the products. Actually was a customer for 10 months before she became an ambassador and is now the top in the company. And beside her to the right in the blue is Laura Clow. She's the one who made this slideshow for us here. And Laura is a teacher at McKinney Christian Academy where I met Celeste. Laura used to teach 4th grade. I believe she has lost about 60 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, but she looks and feels amazing. And not only that, she is now earning 6 times her teaching salary. So she was able to retire after 11 months of being in the company and can stay at home with her kids. So that's an amazing opportunity. There's several other diamonds that you might recognize. Natalie and Rainey, several others here. But yes, Plexus does work. All right, so what is holding you back? If you aren't currently sharing, or maybe you're a little nervous about sharing, just remember that the greatest prison that people live in is the fear of what other people think. So I often like to say too that other people's opinions about you don't pay your bills. And not only that, but once you've shared with several people who have seen incredible changes and restored health, those positives are going to resonate in your mind so much more than the negative opinions of skeptics. And when you have people who have felt the changes and feel the freedom of being healthy and having energy, no longer a slave to their food cravings, and they just love it and rave about it, it really puts a spring in your step and gives you courage to keep sharing. In fact, just yesterday, someone posted my testimonial and tagged me in it. And in the comments, someone replied, "That's the testimonial that I saw that actually inspired me to start Plexus." I just could not believe it. I honestly started crying to think that someone that I don't even know was inspired to start the products because I was willing to share my before and after. So really, the more you step out there in faith and others are inspired and changed, the more it will give you courage to keep sharing. All right, what is your why? I encourage everybody to really evaluate why you are working with Plexus. Why do you love the products? Why do you want to work the business? Just think about what this opportunity means to you and spend some time, if you haven't already, writing just a quick response, a 1 to 2 minute version, and then also maybe a longer version. What are your goals? What do you hope to achieve with it? What does this freedom, the opportunity of financial freedom, what would that mean to you? And then be willing to share that. Because truly, and I did post in the team page, there's a video that Simon Sinek shared. He talks about how most companies share what they sell, and they talk about how they achieve, those outcomes. If we're talking about weight loss, we can talk about how Plexus does that and what we are, what we do. But that doesn't reach the heart of the people. That doesn't make them connect with you and want to order. What actually makes them want to try the products is if they can connect with you and understand why you love this stuff, why you're doing it. When they see your passion and they realize why it's important to you, they can connect with that and go, wow, I feel the same way. I would love to do that. So know your why. All right, Marketing 101. All right, so make sure, if you haven't already, order business cards. You want to be able to have these with you at all times so that if someone strikes up a conversation and they're sharing about how their dad just got diagnosed with diabetes, or how they just feel crummy all the time, they're tired, they have no energy, they get sick a lot, they just really struggle with, they want to lose weight and they work out, but they just can't ever seem to figure out what works. Anytime a conversation comes along, you could talk about how, I used to feel that way too, or, hey, did you know that I work with a company that offers a solution to that? And you can just hand them your business card and share about the company. All right, I also leave those around town. So when you're out and about, just drop a card somewhere. If there's a bulletin board where you can put those up, be sure to share them. All right, make a list of everyone that you would like to share Plexus with. And I make a list. I have about 30 on my list right now. And I try to reach at least 10 people a week. I reach out and talk to them. I communicate primarily by a Facebook private message. I make it personal. I reach out. I explain to them how I think that they would be great at the company, great at the business. Or I might share that I noticed that they posted about their migraines that they're struggling with, and share a testimonial with them about how I can help that. Just something personal that really connects with them, so it doesn't come across as just a spammy, mass marketed email that I sent out to everybody in my list. I really want to connect to their heart. And then also I make sure that I share why. Again, I want to relate with them. I want to explain my passion. I wanted to be able to work from home. I just had another baby. I did not want to have to go back to work. I also knew that this was my 5th child, and with my 4 others, I had never lost weight while nursing, and I knew that Plexus was safe for breastfeeding. So for me, those are 2 of the biggest reasons why I went with Plexus, and I want to share that with them. All right, and then also begin sharing immediately. All right, a lot of people, they want to wait until they get that first month or 2 under their belt because they feel like, if I don't have that weight loss story, people aren't going to believe me, and I want to have a good before and after. Meanwhile, other people are signing up and telling your friends and your family about it, and they may end up buying and joining with someone else. So just remember, if someone, let's say your next door neighbor was struggling with their blood sugar regulation, and you're waiting for your weight loss testimonial, they could really be benefiting from these products if you reach out to them. You don't have to have your story. You just be open and honest. Say, hey, I just got started with these products, but I know they've worked for lots of people. They've worked for my friends, and I'm just wanting to share the journey that I'm starting. And if you're interested, I'd love to tell you more about it, and leave it at that. You'd be surprised at how many people are looking for products like these, and they're going to jump out and ask you, and you can catch them before someone else jumps on board. All right, moving forward, listen more and talk less when discussing Plexus for the first time with someone. So a lot of times we get so excited and eager, we often just throw up Plexus and answer in these huge long replies, and people are like, whoa, okay. But when you talk with people and you listen, you are almost like a shoulder to lean on when they are having a tough time in their life. And people remember you not for what you say, but how well you listen and showed that you cared about what they were going through. So the more you listen and really absorb what their struggles are, learn who they are and what they're dealing with, and then jot those down right after you get through with that conversation. And then reach out to them, at the end of that conversation, connect with what they shared. Help them know. And now the 3 W's, if you haven't heard that before, when I post this recording on the wall, I will actually put a link to Victor Antonio's presentation that he did at Leaders Retreat, but he talks about the 3 W's, and those stand for weight loss, wellness, or wealth. And those are the 3 things to look for to figure out how Plexus could help someone and how to focus your discussions with them. Some people are looking for weight loss. Some people are looking for wellness. So, maybe they don't need to lose weight, but maybe they have underlying autoimmune or pain or candida-related fungus, yeast type issues. So you can be looking for that, because just because someone is skinny on the outside doesn't mean that they're healthy on the inside. And then also some people are going to talk to you about how they're really struggling to make ends meet, their paycheck to paycheck, or even behind on their mortgage, whatever. When you get into a conversation like that W should ring a bell. Hey, I found an opportunity to be able to work from home and make a little extra money, and might be something you'd be interested in, and hand them your business card and open up the door to continue that conversation. All right, so share all of our products with those who inquired, not just the ones they ask about. So maybe weight loss is their primary focus, and they only ask about that, but you never know. They may have family members who are struggling with ailments that our other products could help with, or they may have other issues that they didn't even bring up. And when you share that information with them, then they realize that they could benefit, or their family or friends could benefit from those other products. So anytime I reach out and I connect and I send information on the products, I do try to put just the product briefs and overview of all the products for them. Okay, order brochures and 3-day trial packs to share with your potentials. I order my brochures from SJ Plexus. She is on Etsy, and I really love the quality of her brochures, but there are other people that you can order them from. But anytime someone gets into a good conversation with me, I always have brochures in my purse that I can pull out and give to them, and I stick those in my samples that I send out to friends. 3-day trials, you do not have to invest that much money in. If you're getting started and you don't have the funds to start sending out 3-day trial packs, then start with having a few extra stick packs. Even if you just give them 1 stick pack to taste, oftentimes they'll realize how much better this tastes than those nasty chalky shakes that competitors offer. When they taste that fruity pink drink, they're going to realize, wow, this is really good, and they're going to jump in and much more be inclined to order from you than if they've never tasted it. So let me just snag, in case you haven't seen it, these are the sample cards that I use. And I just stick my stick pack right on here, and on the back of the card, it has the ingredients so that they can look at that before they take it and make sure that they like what's in it. So I do recommend that you get some of those. If that even is out of your budget, then you can just print some out yourself. But have something to hand out to them for those close friends and potentials who ask. All right, and get creative with placing your business cards around town. I've seen people and encourage people when you're traveling, put them behind the seat back pockets on the airplanes, or I've left them at the gas station pumps, to swipe your card. I stuck my card up in there, so when the next person came behind me and had to put their card in, they had to grab my card out of there. A lot of businesses don't want you leaving your cards all around, but get creative. There's ways to get those out there. I know someone signed up because when they were changing in the locker room of a gym, they found a card sitting on the bench in the changing area, and they just called and said, I really want to try this, and I felt like God was speaking to me by finding this on my bench when I was changing clothes. So you never know who it might reach. Purchase and wear t-shirts, hats. Proudly, those are conversation starters. And also, I'm sure that you've heard that our team is now going to be doing the Pandora bracelets as you move up in rank. So that'll be another good conversation starter when you wear your Pandora bracelet and someone asks or comments about how pretty it is. You can share with them what it means. And again, post right away and post 1 to 3 times per day. If you post consistently, people are going to take you seriously and understand that this isn't just some, fad that you're starting that, a month from now, it's going to be something else. When you post consistently every day, they're like, wow, she's really serious about this. She must really believe in this. And they're going to start taking note and reach out to you when they're ready. All right, so social media. Let me just grab a sip of water. Pardon me. Okay, so multiple free sites, and I can tell you right now that I do not take advantage of all of these. I'm not very savvy when it comes to Twitter and Instagram. I need to get on those, but I definitely use Facebook. I would say that 95% of my business is on Facebook. And there's also a training call that that Vincent Orlick did. He is our social media expert. He works for Plexus, and he did a great call on how to use Facebook safely so that we don't get in Facebook jail. But that was a really neat call. All right, so using the social media is a great way to reach a lot of people all at once. You do not have to use social media, but again, it takes people anywhere from 6 to 25 times to hear something about a product before they're willing to take out, to take that leap of faith to try the product. So when you're able to post once a day on one of these and reach all of your contacts, whether it's 100 people or 300 people or 1,000 people, it's just such an easier way of doing that rather than sending out an individual message to each person over and over. Not that that couldn't work, and certainly talking one-on-one with people is a great way to share, and I do recommend that. But there is just something really neat about using social media to reach a larger audience. So make sure that you're using these if you're already on them. And also be sure to share and be less salesy. So you know how people roll their eyes and scroll on past all those spammy, oh, here comes another person selling their something. Well, just remember, we are all, when we're on Facebook, we are all selling something. Whether it's, we're selling what we're convicted about, what we believe in. We're all out there to share what we believe and what we're passionate about. When you share how much you love Plexus and what it's done for your health and what it's done for other people's health, and it doesn't come across as a sales pitch, you're going to be much more open and well received by your friends than if it's, hey, join my team. You should order from me today. Here's a link to my site. That seems very salesy, and people are just usually going to scroll past that. But if you're sharing your personal story, your journey to better health, you're, making yourself more open and sharing what you love about it, those are the connections that people reach, that heart-to-heart interaction, and they're more likely to reach out to you. All right, and then ensure your posts are are targeted to your market. So if most of your friends are young individuals, you're probably not going to want to talk about arthritis. So be sure you know your audience, your market, who your friends are, and struggles that they have. But also, open it up, share other things too, because, your young friend may have a mother who's struggling with something that your audience isn't necessarily experiencing that, but you would be surprised how many people I've had reach out to me that had no interest in the products at all, but they'll message me and say, hey, I hope you don't mind, but my mother-in-law is going to send you a friend request because I talked to her about Plexus since I've been seeing your post. And that just really floors me because I wasn't marketing it to them, but it reached someone. So that's why I do post a variety of different testimonials. You never know who it's going to reach and who needed to hear that day. All right. All right, so using social media, create a buzz. All right, so you want to convey the excitement that Plexus brings, especially because a lot of us are in new areas where it hasn't been heard of yet. I know my Dallas team, you're there in an area where everybody's raving about it. It's all the rage right now, and there is a huge buzz there. But when we're in a fairly new area and people haven't heard about it, we have to share that excitement. We have to share with them what an amazing opportunity it is and how thousands of success stories have been coming in. We want to convey that excitement so that people are like, wow, what's this pink drink? This is the latest and greatest thing, and get them curious and excited to try it. You can ask your team members to share testimonials on a post. It's a great way to capture testimonials. So if you haven't seen, a lot of times we do Testimonial Tuesdays, and those are great. If you just post a generic, hey, it's Testimonial Tuesday, drop your, how Plexus has helped you below. And then you can go on our team page and have all of us just say, hey, I made a Testimonial Tuesday post. Can you show me some love on my post? And we'll go over and we'll comment on it. Be sure that you make those open to the public instead of just your friends, because if it's open to the public and you share with ambassador groups, you'll have a lot of people who you're not even friends with that can go on there and post their story. All right, and then continue to post about family, friends, etc. Don't abandon your original Facebook audience. So one thing that you'll find, if you're adding a bunch of Plexus ambassadors to your Facebook, which is a great thing because, again, those ambassadors, you can not only tag them in the post about their amazing story, you're going to help each other have camaraderie so that you're encouraging each other or commenting on each other's posts. You'll often find that you can end up with 100 or 200 new Facebook friends through Plexus, but don't forget who your original Facebook friends are that you're trying to target. All right, a big one. This is really important. Don't click share on a post. So if you see me post something, or anybody on the team for that matter, anything that I post that's Plexus related, you are always welcome to use that on your own wall. I just encourage you, rather than clicking share, because then it shows my post, and you're just sharing it. When people see something that's shared, they often just scroll right by because it's not coming from you. It's not something that you wrote. So they don't even pay attention to it. What you can do is just save that image, copy the text, and then paste it on there so that it looks like you actually wrote that little story. People are much more inclined to read it. Not only that, but then I won't be tagged in it. So all of my audience, they're not going to go back and then ask me about it. They're going to know to ask you. So it just works better for you if you create it as your own post. And you do not have to ask. If you see a Plexus person who has shared something, unless it's their personal testimonial that says, please do not share, it is an assumption by all Plexus ambassadors that if someone else posts it, it's okay to share it. All right, and then friend new folks you meet. This is a great way to market. Okay, if you are out and you make a friend at the park, you know, you're hanging out at the park with your kids, or you're at the grocery store in the checkout line, and you just really get into a great conversation with someone. And maybe, you know, you don't even have to bring up Plexus, but if you can add those people to Facebook, they are going to see your posts and they're more likely to become a customer. So if you meet friends at a party or at a social gathering where you have mutual friends, say, hey, are you on Facebook? And let's connect. I'd love to visit with you more in the future. And then post pictures from any kind of Plexus thing that you're involved with. It just shows, you know, if you are at a convention or an event or a meeting, it just shows that there's all kinds of fun stuff that's going on, that Plexus is an exciting opportunity. And then once someone asks you for info, say, I'll PM you and take it offline. You don't want to comment and have a public conversation going on with someone, because typically it's a personal, you know, health issue and they don't want to air that out in public. Most of the time people are going to private message you anyway, but if they message, you know, hey, tell me more about this stuff, then say, great, I'll send you a private message and take it offline. Because then, not only that, but it creates curiosity for others. If they can just read and get the answers right there, they'll never reach out to you. If they see that people are interested, then they'll have to reach out to find out themselves. Okay, addressing challenges. I'm going to skip through this because we just went through a troubleshooting training call a couple weeks ago. So I'm actually going to skip this. And if you need help with troubleshooting with a customer, then I will. The training that I did that was all things customer, I believe, is the one where we talked about troubleshooting. If something's not going the way that you're, you know, if they're not seeing the results that they want, or if they're not sure which products to order, any kind of troubleshooting help was discussed in that training. All right, new ambassador objections. All right, so you know there's always going to be excuses, and these are some of the common ones. And just remember that an excuse typically is just someone's not ready and they're coming up with an excuse. It's great to have a solution, but just know that when someone's ready, there's no excuse is going to get in their way. All right, so a common excuse, I don't have the money. A solution, well, that's why you need this business. Save or borrow because it's worth it. And again, we're talking about ambassador objections. So someone that wants to sign up that's hesitant, they're on the fence about signing up. We're not talking about customers here. We'll do that one in a minute. So I don't have the money. If they don't have the money, they can sign up for the $34.95. Most people can come up with that kind of money. They just skip dining out one meal and they can come up with that. If they're truly hurting for money, encourage them to save or borrow because truly it is worth it. Most of the time you can make your invested money back in the very first month. I know I did for sure. I made over $1,000 in my first month. I did hit it hard and I worked it as a full-time business from home. But it certainly paid back my investment. And I know most people who start out the business and really, you know, reach out to people and make it their passion can often get their initial investment back that very first month. There are people, there's stories that I heard of one of the leaders. She actually had to pawn her wedding ring, but she knew how much she needed this opportunity, and she did get her wedding ring back from the pawn shop. But I'm just saying that it is an incredible opportunity. People just need to find a way to do it. Now, that being said, you certainly can offer them some assistance. I know that there are people who have done that. You know, hey, if you buy a welcome pack, I'll reimburse your annual fee, the $34.95. If they're a really close loved one, you can help them. That's up to you. That's not something that I would market and solicit openly because I do believe that that cheapens the company if it's posted publicly that you're doing that. This is a minor investment. Most people, when they start a business, it's thousands of dollars that they need to get started. We're talking about $34.95 here. Do they have to buy a welcome pack? No, but that welcome pack is the cheapest, most deeply discounted product that we will ever get. So if they're wanting to be on the products, which we all should, then that's the cheapest they'll ever get them. So I really encourage you to have them save up until they can afford it and then get on it. Okay, excuse, I don't have the time. Well, that's why you need this, to get your time back so that you don't have to be working all those crazy hours. Rosalind Payne is one of our diamond leaders, and she was working 2 or 3 jobs when she started this, and she still fit it in the nooks and crannies of her breaks and lunch break and after work, and now she doesn't have to work any other jobs. So it's just, you can make it work no matter how little time you have. Excuse, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. Well, if you know 3 people, then you know enough to get rolling in this business. You know folks growing up, high school, college, jobs, church, you have to know somebody. That's just an excuse. Excuse, I'm not a salesperson. Well, great. I'm not either. I'm not a salesperson. Neither is Celeste. In fact, that is her reason that she did not want to be a part of a network marketing company, is because she's not a salesperson. She didn't want to be, pushy and annoying. But that's not what this is about. This is just about sharing products that you love. So that's another reason to try the products and be a product of the product. When you have your own success story and you love what it did for you, you're going to be sharing that and excited about that. And that's all you have to do to have a successful Plexus business. You don't have to be pushing them to buy things. That doesn't typically work anyway. So that is not a reason to worry or hesitate signing up. All right. So I'm going to, hopefully I can get this real quick. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, just to save time and for the sake of my audio may not work very well for this, I'm going to post this 3-minute video in the notes section once our training is over here. When I post the video, I'll put this below so you guys can come back and watch that. Okay, new customer objections and solutions. So this is the customer side. Now, if you're talking to someone who you believe the products would benefit and they come up with an excuse, here's 3 common ones and ways to reply. And I apologize, I'm so thirsty. Okay, excuse, I don't have the money. Perfect, because there's a 60-day money-back guarantee, or you can become an ambassador and then purchase the welcome products at wholesale. Oftentimes, people don't realize that it only takes 3 or 4 customers ordering from them to be able to cover the cost of their own products. So that's a great way to introduce it. I commonly will tell people that if they want to try it for the first month and know that they've got that money back guarantee, if it doesn't work, then they're not out any money. But if they love it, they can sign up to be an ambassador. And if they have just a few friends who would order from them, they can often get the cost of their products covered. And that is a very enticing opportunity for someone who really would love the benefit of these products. Okay, excuse. This is just another lose weight quick scheme. All right, actually, Plexus has a myriad of wellness products, from our probiotics to pain relief. Weight loss is just one component of our business. And again, there's lots of testimonials of people who did not even need to lose weight. And our products are not lose weight quick products. There's no stimulants that force weight off. Probably someone who is after a quick weight loss program is not going to be happy with this, because they're looking for getting weight off in a couple weeks for that, wedding or event they have coming up. These are health products. This is about overall health. So it's important that they understand that this is very different than a weight loss company. All right, excuse, I've already tried everything and nothing works. Solution, I'm happy to share countless testimonials from people on my team who found success. Now, there's also testimonials of people who said that very thing, that they had tried everything and nothing worked. And yet they were willing to do it because of that money back guarantee, and lo and behold, it worked. But you want to set realistic expectations with people. If they are unrealistic and they expect that they're going to try this and in 30 days they're going to, have dropped 3 dress sizes, then they probably won't be happy about that either. And do remind them of the money back guarantee. Okay, business challenges and solutions. So if one of your challenges is that you're having a hard time getting new customers, one solution is to spread your net wider. So if you're just reaching your Facebook audience, you can start talking to people outside of Facebook. You can start thinking of ways to reach other people, sharing your business cards, leaving flyers around town, emailing people that aren't on Facebook. Make sure that you're liking and commenting other people's posts to make sure that they're even seeing your posts. So those are just some. And remember, from what I believe is the biggest key to getting new customers is posting consistently, posting in ways that share, not sell, and reaching out and private messaging people. Because a lot of times people are thinking about it and they're watching your posts, but when you actually reach out and ask them, strike up a conversation with them, then they'll say, hey, I was just about to reach out and ask you about that. So you'll find that it's a quick way to reach them. All right, challenge, troubles gaining new ambassadors. All right, so one solution to this is to create an email that explains the business opportunity. You can post the business opportunity on your wall. I typically did not do that in my first couple months because I didn't want to focus on the income side as much as I wanted to share about how great the products were getting started. But I did private message and email people with how great of a financial opportunity this was. So think about those people who you believe would love this opportunity. Maybe they're looking for a work from home business. Maybe they're already very financially savvy. Maybe they're great in another network marketing company, but they're not finding the financial success that they were hoping for. Then you can talk to them about our comp plan and how it's different. Reach out to those people. Tell them why you believe they would be great at this business and how it's different than most others and that it's worth taking a look at. Also, just say, you're one of my good friends and I would really love you to do this with me because it's so much fun. Because it is, when we're going to events together and, potentially earning trips together, you're going to want your closest friends and family to be doing that with you. All right, challenge, trouble getting your team to post or work their businesses. So you sign someone up and they seem interested, but then they just won't post about it. Try and figure out, what's holding them back. A lot of times they just don't know how to word it right, or they're afraid of what people are going to think. They don't really know what to do, and they're kind of in that analysis of that paralysis of analysis is what they say. So maybe you can share with them some good posts to get started. You can give them tips on what to post or how to post, and have every new ambassador have them make a video or just tell about their why. Tell why they're starting this health journey. They don't have to do a video if that's too intimidating for them, but have them at least when they get started explain why they started taking the products, why they're on this Plexus journey, so that people, when they start to see these posts, they don't think they're just getting sold to. They realize what it's really doing to benefit them. Okay, challenge, trouble with customers not having expected results with products. Well, that goes back to the troubleshooting. And again, we covered that in one of our training calls recently, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but find out what they're taking and find out when they're taking it and how they're taking it. A lot of times people aren't being consistent with their products. They're skipping their dose, or maybe they're not drinking their water. Maybe they're taking it at the wrong time of day. A lot of times it's something real simple that you can troubleshoot with them to give them ideas. It could be the Candida die-off is giving them symptoms that they're not fond of, and they think that the products aren't working for them, or they're giving them trouble. But really, it's just something that you can quickly address and encourage them along in the products. So, all right. So if you need more on that, definitely pull up my customers video. All right, compensation. So you want to work in your pajamas, flexible hours, potentially make unlimited income, go to Maui every year, and get a company Lexus? Sure, we can do that. So now we're going to jump into our compensation plan and just go briefly over how we get paid, making money. All right, so we make commission on everything over $100. If you've watched Sonia Dudley's video on how we get paid, you'll have already seen that first $100, not only is that typically our own products that we're ordering there, but the company takes that first $100 and they actually invest it into the pay point bonus. So we are getting paid off of that 100. It's just going into our pay point bonus rather than into a commission. But for everything over your first 100, if you sell if your total, this is not individual sales now, this is your total for the month. If your total for the month is between $100 and $499, you make 15% commission off of that total volume. If you sell 500 or more, then you get paid 25% commission on everything over 100. So if you sell $600 for the month, you're going to make 25% off of all of that 600, not just the 100 that's over the 500. I hope that makes sense. Okay, bonuses for preferred customers. So we get bonuses on each product every month. So if you have a customer who orders Slim and ProBio, you're going to make a commission. And again, this is preferred customers. You're going to make a preferred bonus on that Slim. That's $15. And a $5 bonus on that ProBio every month that they order that as a preferred customer on top of your commissions. All right, more ways that you get paid. When you build a team, when someone earns money or someone orders a welcome pack, then you earn money from that. Okay, so if they sign up and you are the one who recruited them, you're their personal sponsor, half of that welcome pack cost goes back to the company and half of the welcome pack goes to the ambassadors, and you make half of the amount that goes to the ambassadors, so that's 25%. So if they buy a $99 welcome pack, you're going to make just shy of $25. And if they buy the $199 welcome pack, you're going to make just shy of $50. So, and that is paid in your weekly bonuses. So if they sign up this week, you're going to get paid next Friday. It's always the following week on Friday that you get paid for those. All right, then you also make 5% off of all your level 1 ambassadors. So if you sign someone up and they sell $1,000 that month, then you are going to make $50 off of their sales. So you make 5% of their sales, just your level 1s. All right, then you also earn points when ambassadors join at any levels on your levels 1 through 7. These are your pay point bonuses, and you'll look, we'll go over the comp plan specifically, but depending on your rank is how many levels down you're going to get paid on those pay points. But each Plexus point is worth a dollar amount, and it averages around $3 a month. It will never fall below $1.80 in value, but it's based on the average sales and how many active ambassadors there are. And again, most every month it's right around $3. And you earn, if you'll look on your comp plan, you'll see, but it'll tell you for your levels 1 through 3, you earn 5 points for that person if they are active that month, they have their auto backup order on, and they're over their 100. Then you're going to earn 5 points with a pay point of $3. That is $15 per person. So starting out, you'll see that, if you only have a team of 1 or 2 or 3 people, that's $15 each. Not a whole lot of money with that, which is why you want to get those 3 customers or more to make your commission money. But as your team grows, this is the money that's going to become your retirement income. This is what is going to be your residual income that's coming in and giving you those big paychecks when they talk about earning 5 and 6 figures a month. That's what will do it. This is the profit sharing that Plexus uses. All right, so points earn you rank bonuses also. So when you get that first goal of silver and you've added 3 ambassadors, you get a bonus of $100. When you reach your next goal, which is gold, which is 100 points, around 20 ambassadors, then you'll get a $250 bonus. So those are one-time bonuses. And that's just the start of it. There are 11 ways that we get paid. I'm not going to jump into all of the commission, all the pools of extra money that you get as an emerald and sapphire and diamond, but there's many different ways that we get paid. And Plexus is just unbelievable that someone can start out and start getting a paycheck right off the bat. I've worked for several other network marketing companies, and I can tell you that I've never gotten more than my wholesale pricing. I've never gotten a paycheck before now. So I hope that you, as you are growing your business, find that to be the case too. All right, emerald, sapphire, and diamond. Once you reach those top 3 levels, you would then earn your Plexus Lexus. You would earn a trip for 2, all expense paid trip to Hawaii every year. You also get a percentage of the earnings pool for those top 3 levels, and you can re-enter underneath yourself and start the business all over again under your first level. So if you're a diamond, you can then put your name under yourself like you're a new ambassador, your own level 1, and you can start and do it all over again. All right, and by the way, the friends that I know, Celeste and Laura Clow, who's a sapphire, I have several others in McKinney that were at McKinney Christian Academy that I knew back then. I've got a couple that are senior rubies that were at the church that I was at. But most people reach the level of emeralds anywhere from 12 to 15 months. Celeste, she's the fastest growing, and she reached the level of emerald in 4 months. But just to give you an idea of how long it might take you to reach there, probably expect between 12 and 18 months if you're really working your business that you could potentially hit that level. All right, so this is the comp plan summary chart. This is the double-sided handout that I encourage all of you to have a copy of laminated handy at your desk. This is one side of that, and this just goes over all the different ways that you get paid, the 11 different ways. Okay, this is an amazing financial potential. I'm just blown away at this. And now I know the company released some figures that you've probably seen on a red and white graph. Those figures took into account all ambassadors, including all of the inactives who aren't even working the business right now. But if you take a look at this financial potential, you'll see that starting out, if you get to the silver rank, you could be making anywhere from $200 to $1,500 a month with 3 people on your team. And as you grow your business, the potential to be making 5 figures is just amazing. All right, Plexus Perks. Not only do they pay you in those incredible paychecks, but they also really reward us with some fun things. So once you hit Emerald, you earn one of those white Lexus sedans. Once you hit Diamond, you can qualify for one of the black Lexus SUVs or convertible. You can also go to Plexus Convention every year. That's any of us. All of us can go to that. And I hope you do sign up to go because it is so much fun. You get to meet all of the leaders, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to hear from our top ambassadors and our executives. You get to hear the new products released and buy products there with no shipping. It's just such a fun time of camaraderie. That is in June 4th through 7th. There are 6 of us on the team that are already signed up to go, and I really hope that you decide to go as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Leaders Retreat is every October, and last year I was able to earn that trip to Florida as a silver ambassador. That is something that is based on how you're working your business between the months of June, July, and August. They do a contest, and depending on how many customers, ambassadors, and PV volume you have for those 3 months determines whether or not you get to go on that trip. But it's a lot of fun. All right, then the Maui trip for 2, again, that's for Emerald and up. Then they also do seasonal bonuses and contests. For example, they did in October, they did a contest for a free iPad and a laptop bag. And if you added 3 customers and 3 ambassadors in the month of October, you got a free iPad Air, and I did win that, and that was so much fun. All right, and then as your downline grows, so do your points, and so do your paychecks. Oh, and one other thing that they do at convention and at the Leaders Retreat, when you're doing these contests to earn your trip, they will pay back your airfare. They'll pay back some fun incentives, like at Leaders Retreat. You could earn a spa package. You could earn a trip to Disney. You can earn a golf outing. You could earn fun little like $2,000 to $5,000 bonuses. So they definitely do some fun bonuses. And then as you reach each rank, they also will send you some fun little perks in the mail. All right, this is another great video. Eric Worre talks about momentum and building momentum in network marketing and why it's so important to keep that momentum going. I'm going to post the link to that under the video so that we don't watch it right now. You can watch it in your free time. It's only 5 minutes. All right, building momentum. So in order to keep momentum going, basically they talk about network marketing. When you're getting started, it's a lot of work up front. It's almost like pushing a snowball up the hill. It's a lot of work for not a whole lot of effort. And that's why most people quit, because they're not seeing a whole lot coming out of it. But what they don't realize is if you can just keep that snowball rolling, keep it going, you're going to hit the crest, and then it's just going to keep tumbling down the hill on its own. And in this company, I have been told that once you hit senior gold is about where you crest that hill and it starts to just go on its own downhill. It's a lot of work, though, up front. So you got to keep going. You got to be consistent. You must be persistent. You're going to go for 2 no's a day. If you're not having people tell you no, then you're not asking enough people. Do not take those no's personally. I personally think of no's as not yet. They're just people saying, no, not yet. I'm not ready for that. I'm not interested. That doesn't mean they won't ever be interested, and that doesn't mean we need to take it personally. Just not the right timing. But you won't get to yeses if you don't go for the no's. Just think of it like, someone shooting basketballs. They're not going to expect that every time they throw that basketball that it's going to go through the hoop. But it takes practice, and you got to shoot the basket, or you're going to miss 100% of the shots that you never take. All right, maintain your momentum once you have it. Maintain momentum once you have it by sticking to your game plan. So if you don't have a game plan and you're just aimlessly wandering around Facebook and you're not really sure what to do, you're going to find that you're spinning your wheels and spending a lot of time on things that aren't income producing. So make sure you set those goals and have a plan. And then keep your eye on the prize. Stick to your goals. Don't let people on either side of you steer you away, whether it's someone on this side of you is doing really successful and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, look how well they're doing and I'm not, and I feel horrible, and then you want to quit. Don't don't compare yourself to others, because comparison is the thief of joy. But then also, don't listen to these skeptics and naysayers who are trying to pull you down over here, because people who don't have their own dreams and visions and success, they don't like to see others reach that success either. So don't let those negative emotions steer you away. Keep your eyes on the goal and keep moving forward. And then how many people can you help? Just like we talked about, this is an amazing opportunity with products that can help so many different people. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on who needs to hear about this product, who needs this life-changing opportunity, and how can you reach out to them? All right, keys to success. So I know we're over an hour now, but we're getting near the end, so bear with us. All right. Knowledge is power. Take advantage of trainings, videos, and calls. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you learn, the more you earn. Those are great sayings, and it is so true. Keep learning. If you learn your products, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable in answering questions. You can work your business part-time, but not sometime, okay? If you're working full-time and all the time that you have to give to this is just an hour or two in the evenings, then do that. But make sure it's consistent, that you're spending the time every day with that amount of time that you can give it, whether it's 30 minutes a day or whether it's 4 or 5 hours a day. Do what's realistic for you, but do it consistently. All right, educate your clients and set expectations for them. All right, remind them that sometimes it takes 60 days to see results, which is why the company offers a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't let them go into this thinking that they're going to see quick weight loss in their first week or two. Let them know that there's often, water weight that's gained initially. There could be some detox that goes on. Make sure that they know upfront what to expect. Talk to them about die-off if they're on the ProBio. Just make sure that you're in contact with them. Some people see weight loss results right away and, they don't have those die-off symptoms and they feel amazing from day one, and that's great. But just make sure that you're in communication with them, because a successful customer can become a successful ambassador on your team. All right, and then be a product of the products. If you've got a great story to tell, you're going to be a lot more passionate about sharing the products with others. And then get to events, because Celeste always says, meetings make money. That's her saying. So go to the events. It's a lot of fun. The excitement is there. It really gets you motivated. If you bring friends to those events, they're going to hear about this amazing opportunity. And when there's the enthusiasm in the room, with more than just you telling them in person, they often see the opportunity. They hear testimonials of other people who've had success, and they're more likely to jump on board with you. All right, maximizing your income potential. So like I talked about, when you're getting started, most of your income is going to come from your commissions. But building your team is the way that you're going to maximize your income potential. Because of the way that the profit sharing bonus is set up, the more people you have on your team, the bigger your earning potential is. So get new customers as happy customers, and then they will hopefully become happy ambassadors working the business with you. Treat your new ambassador like a customer, though, and follow up with them, train them, be available to help them. Make sure that if they have questions, that you're guiding them along the process. And then duplicate everything that you learn and the things that you're taught, then share that with your new recruits. And I'm hoping to have some resources available to our whole team to help make this a lot easier. I'm hoping that in the next month or so, I'm going to have a team handbook available to everybody so that you'll all have the tools at your fingertips and not have to go through and find these files and print them out every time someone signs up. And then utilize the power of 3. I have posted that recently, but it is really a great way of visualizing how if you add 3 people to your team and then they add 3 people to their team, and it continues to duplicate. That when we're paid 7 levels down, the financial income potential with that, I believe if you just have 3 and they duplicate that down 7 levels, it's like $14,000 a month if that was followed. So the power of 3 is a huge way of building your monthly income. And if we share that, if you can add as many as you want. That's the great thing about Plexus. There's no binary plan where you have to add 2 and then you have to stabilize these legs underneath those 2 people. You can add 100, 200, 300 people directly below you. But to keep it simple, focus on 3 and then help them add their 3 and then do it again. Again, you can add as many as you want. Sheila Medina has a really great Power of 3 video that I posted and shared last week. And if you haven't seen that, I really encourage you to watch that. Back office tips, we'll talk about this we've got a video on the team page that I encourage all the newbies to watch. If you need help with this, I plan to do a training call on this in the next week or 2. But you're going to utilize these reports. You've got a financial report that talks about your paychecks. You've got customer reports so you can see when your customers' auto ships are going to be going out, if they're still signed up, if they're active, inactive, you can track their orders. You can look at all the ambassadors underneath you and see, who's got their auto backup on and how many sales each of them have made each month. You can see how many customers they have. So if you see someone that's a rock star, you can give them a high five and a shout out to them to encourage them. Or if they're, maybe they're $10 shy of their auto ship, which by the way, for our team is tomorrow. So I'll be doing that this evening. I'll be taking a peek to see if you're just shy of that $100. I'll be reminding everyone to either order tonight or to turn that off. And so as a leader, when you have people under you, you'll want to do that as well. Encourage your ambassadors to keep that auto qualification on, to purchase a welcome pack when they sign up. But once they're in, if they're below their 100, they can turn it off. But it needs to stay on for the most part because that's how they get their paycheck. If they need to turn it off for a month, that's, understandable. But a lot of people don't realize that if they don't have that on, they don't get a paycheck. So it's important that we train them and also keep an eye out for that. Sometimes people have over $100 in orders and it's turned off and they're not going to get paid and they don't realize that. And then utilize the available back office resources. There's all kinds of information at your fingertips back there. All right, I think we've got 2 more slides and we're done. So what are your goals? Again, like we talked about, visualize your why, set short-term goals and long-term goals and write those down and create a dream board. I did this and I have mine on the wall right over there so I can look at it here in my home office because they're very inspirational. Whatever your goals are, whether it's to pay off your loans or if it's to retire early, if it's to stay at home with your babies, maybe it's to go on a mission trip or vacation more or to give to the church more, whatever it is that you would love to do if you had more financial freedom, write those down and then focus on those goals, and those will inspire you to keep going. And I love what this says here. The trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score. I thought that was really neat. All right, so in the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. So take a chance with Plexus, you guys. It truly is the opportunity of a lifetime. I hope you guys have gotten a ton out of this boot camp. I'll post the links to the videos underneath. And if there are any questions that you have, feel free to post them in the comments. I'm going to stop the recording so I can answer questions here tonight.